So since the iPhone 16 lineup came out, I've probably tried hundreds of cases and seen which ones I like, from thin ones to thick ones to multi-purpose ones to unique ones to keyboard ones, and I wanted to share my favorite 5 cases overall that each fit into some sort of category, because I know some people like to go caseless, right? Some people like to have their cases be leather, some people just like ultra thin cases, some people need to have MagSafe magnets on it so they make sure that their accessories stay on. So this is going to be 5 different cases from 5 different categories that I'm going to recommend, bar none. Let's get into it. So I'm going to start with the category that I would personally use probably last, just because I'm not a big fan of large cases, but I know that a lot of people are when it comes to ruggedness and making sure that it's protecting your phone in some of these crazy circumstances, whether you're hiking or you're on a motorcycle and it falls off. So this one by ESR, this is going to be their Cyber Series Tough Case. And this is probably as thick as I would personally go. I know that there's thicker cases out there, but in terms of protection, this is as good as it's going to get at this type of form factor. So this is a multi-layered case. So it's got this silicone piece on the inside that you put around your iPhone, and then more of a hard shell piece to give it even more protection. And you do have a couple of things here that really add to that protection piece. And first is going to be the cover for the USB-C port, so you can cover it up, make sure no lint or dust or anything gets into there. Even though these phones are now waterproof for the most part, it's still good to make sure that that connector is protected. So if you do plug it in when it's wet, it doesn't mess anything up. And the hard shell piece does have MagSafe magnets built into there to give you peace of mind that your wallet or your MagSafe stand will work. But then secondly, you might not even need the MagSafe stand because it does have this camera guard which flips open to let you prop up your phone in landscape mode if you want to. And then technically, if you really want to do it in portrait mode, you could hold it upside down and stand it up. But that's kind of a weird situation. For the most part, this is meant for landscape viewing. And I do like that we do have a stand built into this while keeping everything protected. So from the side to the back to the rear, everything is protected. The only opening that you have here is going to be for the camera control button. They went with the pill-shaped cutout for this one just because it's probably the easiest way to go about it. So this one, if you're looking for a rugged case that is very well priced, fits the aesthetic, and is not crazy thick, this one's going to be the way to go. The next category, in my opinion, is going to be the most well-made case overall. This one doesn't have any specifics when it comes to build materials or anything like that. This is just something that I would recommend because this brand just makes these cases amazingly well, and that's going to be by Nomad, and this is going to be their new Magma colorway sport case, and it pretty much fits everything that I would personally want out of a case, right? It's not too thick, it's actually relatively thin, not the absolute thinnest in the world, but it does get the job done from a thinness perspective. It's got a nice camera lip as well as a front lip to make sure the screen and the camera bump stays protected, has MagSafe magnets, has a nice microfiber lining on the inside, and then the sides of it is fully protected as well, and you do have some texture and material differences when it comes to the buttons. So it goes from this nice kind of TPU rubber to this titanium finish that does have some nice texture to it as well. So you do know where the lock button is, you know where the volume rockers are, you know where your action button is, and then when it comes to the camera control button, they also went with the cutout with a little divot in there so you can fit your thumb or your finger in there very easily with easy access. So this is their Magma colorway. I also love their black one because it's probably the deepest black I've ever seen in a case in my opinion, but the cutouts are also there if you do need them, and it doesn't get in the way of any USB-C cables if that's what you're getting into. So this one by Nomad is the most well-made case because it lasts the longest, it's very premium while keeping everything protected, and the colors and just like the feel of it I absolutely love. The next category is going to be my favorite leather case. Now, the leather cases that I've been using are from Andar, and I've been using them for years and years, dating back to, I believe, the iPhone 10 or the iPhone 10s, and they just make super premium, genuine leather, full-grain leather cases that fit the Apple aesthetic perfectly. Now, this one's the blue colorway, the technically T colorway, which I absolutely love. I think it's very cool. It's got these chrome accents, but they have about 10 or 12 different colors to choose from. Some other case colors that I like are going to be the stone gray one. Even the technically T red one is awesome that I used all last year with my 15 Pro Max. So getting one of these Andar leather cases is great because you open it up, it smells amazing, it smells like full grain leather. For this blue one specifically, you do have those chrome finishes like I mentioned. You have the lip for the camera, you have an additional lip for the screen itself, the buttons are completely covered, and then they went with a different cutout. They completely kind of cut out the entire side here for the camera control button, which I actually prefer over the pill cutout, but that's to each their own. That's just a matter of preference when it comes to that button exactly. But if you are looking for a full grain leather case that is very protected, but still very relatively thin, extremely lightweight, has MagSafe magnets, a nice microfiber lining, and has an abundance of different colorways to choose from, this one by Andar is definitely the way to go. And now if we continue, I do want to bring up my favorite unique case, which is something that not a lot of people might think about, and this is gonna have to be the Clix keyboard case. Now before you click off, no pun intended, this Clix keyboard case is something that I didn't think that I would use too much because, especially with the 16 Pro Max, it does make it a kind of a large package, but this is Clix's second generation of a keyboard case, and they really stepped it up from a build material standpoint, from a fit and finish standpoint. Even the keys themselves feel nicer to click on, and you do have some additional features which was omitted from the first one because it was a first gen product. So first and foremost, you do have that nice microfiber lining on the inside. They added MagSafe magnets to the back of it, which is something the first gen didn't have. They added data pass-through when it came to the USB-C port, because with the last one, obviously it connected via USB-C, but then the bottom of it also has a USB-C in to allow you to charge. But if you had something like wired CarPlay, or if you use an external SSD, you weren't able to use it with the first one, but now you can with Gen 2. And also just the fit and finish is a lot nicer compared to last year, like the covered buttons that aren't mushy. They kind of have an actual button to them. They went with the same pill cutout as the other ones like I mentioned earlier for the camera control button. And if anything, it puts it in a better position when you're holding it in portrait mode because of the extra size of the keys. I will say that if you do have a 16 Pro, it is a lot easier to wield and use with the 16 Pro versus the 16 Pro Max, but it's still plenty usable if you have a 16 Pro Max and you do want to use a physical keyboard. And what I like about this keyboard is that it just opens up the entire screen real estate of your iPhone. You now can use the entire screen of an application like the Notes app or an Instagram story or Snapchat story, or if you're editing a photo and you're trying to type something on there, everything is now off the virtual keyboard because it recognizes it and it no longer pops up. When you do have this on, you can manually pop it up if you need to, but I just love how much screen real estate you get back with these iPhones thanks to the Clix case. Now the next category of cases is going to be for the camera control button, the best camera control case that's out there right now. And that one's going to be by Spigen. This one actually came out right when the iPhones did come out. I know that Apple has their own cases that does have some sapphire crystal on the actual camera control button itself, so it stays protected, but you can still use it. But I wanted to avoid Apple accessories and just focus on the third-party ones. And this one by Spigen gets the job done, and it does it amazingly well. First and foremost, I love the clear case because it lets you see the color of the iPhone itself. Like having my black colorway one with these white accents gives it a nice stormtrooper look to it. And then also, you do have plenty of protection. It's still rigid enough where it's not going to break anything, but malleable enough where it doesn't feel uncomfortable in the hand. You have MagSafe magnets on the back of it to give you more confidence with your MagSafe accessories. But again, the biggest selling point here is going to be the fact that the camera control button is covered. They have their own sapphire crystal on here as well to make sure that you can get both not only the soft touch, but the hard touch, and then be able to also scroll through it because, again, it's a great feat of engineering both on the Apple side, but then also with the Spigen case as well. So if you're looking for a camera control case that covers the camera control button, but still allows it to be fully usable, especially now with 18.2 that allows you to half press to autofocus, this one's going to be a great solution if you're looking for a case like that. So this one by Spigen, highly recommended. And then last but not least, my personal favorite case, and I'm somebody that really likes thin cases to begin with. I'm either rocking my phone naked, with a skin, or with a thin case. And now this one by Lumnu is the one that I've been using over the last 2 months, and I can't get enough of it. Just the look of it, the feel, how thin it is, but how protective it is, the MagSafe magnets. So to walk you through exactly what this is an aramid fiber case that is extremely thin. And what I like about this is that on the sides, as you can see, they pretty much took away all the side casing, so you can actually get full access to all your buttons, from the camera control to the volume rocker to the lock button, and then they did the cover on the top and the bottom. So this is still a rigid case and it's not very malleable, but again, it's very protective. I've actually dropped my iPhone with this on and not a scratch. It's got a great camera lip. It still has enough of a lip on the top to protect the screen if you are facing it down. And then of course, I just love the accents on here. This has kind of like a cyberpunky feel to it, and Lumnu's been known to do that. As you can see on the rear, there's actually some openings on here for some quote-unquote cooling. Of course, it's not actually cooling anything, it's more for aesthetic and for looks, but you do have some perforations on here, so you can kind of call it as passive cooling. There's a little bit of metal on here too to kind of help with the heat dissipation a little bit. And then you have some other accents here on the bottom and on the side to kind of give it that awesome look that I like. So it's kind of a minimalist look, but with just enough of like a nerdy, techie, cyberpunky look to give it some character, and just the thinness and the MagSafe magnets and how much they were able to add in here with protection and magnets and just a look and feel. This one is by far my best recommendation, but again, it's a personal preference. I just like how thin it is, how easy it is to take off and on, and the fact that they keep everything open on the sides. But those are my absolute favorite cases that I've been using for my 16 Pro Max overall. They do have variations for all the other iPhones like the 16, the 16 Plus, and the 16 Pro, so I'll leave everything linked down below with updated pricing. And again, we're in that Cyber Monday, Black Friday, holiday season, so these are going to be the best prices you'll see moving forward. So I do recommend, if you're looking for a case for the holiday season, looking for a stocking stuffer, looking for a gift for somebody else, I would definitely recommend checking these cases out because you won't be disappointed, and there's something here for everybody. And again, everybody likes different cases, whether it's a size, the materials, the thinness, the thickness, or if somebody just might like to go caseless overall. But That'll do it for this video, everybody. Leave a comment down below what your favorite case is. Are you a case on or case off type of person? I actually rock no case when I'm at home, and then I do rock a case whenever I leave the house. That's usually what I end up doing, but that's just my personal preference again. But that'll do it. If you made it to the end, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end. And if you want to watch more videos like this one, definitely check out one of these videos right here. And until next time, I'm Fernando, and I'm out of here, everybody. Peace.